Okay, good evening, everyone. Let me bump this up a little bit. I'm Dr. Nancy Stanley, physical therapist, life and health coach, and tonight I'm here to talk about Alzheimer's. And you might think, well, I don't need to know about that. I'm 40 years old. I'm 50 years old. You know, I don't think I'm going to get Alzheimer's. It's not in my genes. My mama didn't have it. My daddy didn't have it. Well, I've got some news for you. It's not necessarily genetic. I was so glad. Hey, Deborah, good to see you. I was so glad when I learned that because my mother died from Alzheimer's right here on a bed, right beside me over here. She weighed 67 pounds, and it was very, very difficult to watch her die because she had been healthy her whole life. Ate pretty healthy. According to what the standard American diet was, she was never obese. There was a few years there she was a little bit obese, but she did exercise for a long time. In the later years of her life, she didn't. But, watching that process and the work that I did, I'm not doing that right now, in assisted living, there were about 70 people that lived in this assisted living. Maybe 4 men, the rest were women, and there was a hall where they all had advanced stages of Alzheimer's, and basically they sat around in a room with the TV running all day, and they took them to their meals and back. Some had to be fed, some could feed themselves. If you ask them what was their husband's name, they couldn't tell you. They might know their name, they didn't know their children. It's just a very sad thing. So if you haven't had the experience of it, I hope and pray that you never do. But if you have, then you're going to want to listen to this information because this is the information you need that's going to give you hope, okay? And let me just say this. Don't say this, I'm losing my mind. I'm just so stupid, or I must have Alzheimer's, or my brain's not working right. Don't say those things about yourself. It's negative self-talk. So say positive things about yourself, okay? And that's going to go a long way toward you moving forward instead of staying stuck. Okay, so let me talk about genomics, and basically what that is it's going to be a predictor using brain scans of your propensity or your risk factors or just what's going on in your brain. And most people don't have this done, but especially women. But now they're doing more and more studies on women. In fact, I was on a podcast today with 2 doctors, 2 neuroscientists. One of them is Dr. Lisa Mosconi. She has just written a book called XX Brain. That's the female hormone, XX brain, and or the female DNA, and then or chromosome. And then the other lady, I forgot what her book is, but I'm also just finished a book called Remember by neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Genova. And so I'm doing a lot of research about this because I want to give you the best information. And so if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you 7 tips that will help you prevent Alzheimer's. And the good news is that 1/3 of all cases of Alzheimer's is preventable. Now, one of the things we do know that gives you a higher risk factor is head injuries. So that's why you want to, with your children, you want to be sure that they're wearing proper gear when they're riding bikes, when they're playing ball, when they're doing those things, because head injuries can cause, increase your risk for Alzheimer's. Okay. But really, the modifiable risk are the things I want to talk about today. And those are, here we go, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, smoking, exercise, and intellectual activity. And then the last one being diet, especially in your midlife. That's when it's really, really important. And when I say midlife, I mean like 35 to 55, okay? I think I guess I'm beyond midlife because I'm 65. I hope I'm in my midlife. I mean, I want to live to be 90 or 95 if I'm still able to contribute, because I always want to contribute. But, that's up to God. But I'm going to do the best I can to have the best life. So, okay, so we look at diet as to change our body. But really, we should look at diet to change our brain. And so that's what I want to talk about tonight. So let me take this one down, and I'm going to flip up this one about Alzheimer's. So let me start with say this, that studies show that doing low fat does not work. I think that's pretty much an established fact, but you'll still hear people say when you're eating butter or you're eating bacon or you're eating eggs, you're like, oh, what about your cholesterol? And what about, that's a lot of fat. Well, here's what happens. When you lower your fat, what happens is your body actually depletes your bile, and your bile is what's necessary for digestion, okay? And so you don't want to do that. Rather, you want to take in good fats like avocado oil, good grass-fed butter, good grass-fed meats, especially your fatty meats. And then on top of that, this is not fat, but vegetables. You want to have some really, really good vegetables. So when you're lowering your carbs, so that's what happens when you don't eat like grains and cereals and rice and those starchy things, you'll use up your glycogen stores, and you'll begin to pull the fat out of your liver and out of your organs and use it. And that's why you lose that fat around the middle. I mean, I had fat around the middle, but once I got on the ketogenic diet and started doing intermittent fasting, I lost that, and I was so glad to get rid of it. And now I know it wasn't just around that I could grab, it was literally around my organs, because I had become thick in the middle. So just know that you can lose that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Alzheimer's. What Alzheimer's is it's amyloid plaques that are formed in the brain, and it keeps the brain from sending messages, from communication. You see, this is the axon, and these are the dendrites, and these amyloid plaques form. And so it's kind of like having a block in your electricity, or like somebody cuts off the connection. You just don't have that connection. Okay, and with normal aging, we lose 10% of our brain, but when you begin to develop Alzheimer's, and what they know now is that you begin to develop in your 30s and 40s. So if you had a scan done in your 30s and 40s, you would have seen your brain has shrunk from in your 20s and 30s. So you want to begin to do things that are going to prevent you from having these symptoms, okay? All right, so one of those is the ketogenic diet, because your brain loves ketones. But if you're putting a lot of sugar, carbs in your body, then you're going to be spiking your insulin, and you're not going to be able to produce ketones, okay? Some people take them exogenously. They'll take exogenous ketones, especially when they're fasting for more energy, and you can do that. They're kind of expensive, but you can do that just to have more energy. But the good news is that with the ketogenic diet and these other modifications I'm about to tell you, you can prevent the progression of Alzheimer's, okay? So here we go. What are those things? I'm going to keep it really simple for you. You need to get good sleep. If you're not able to sleep, if you're getting up and going to the bathroom, you need to cut your water before you go to bed. Don't drink water within the 2 hours before you go to bed. I'm not saying don't drink water during the day, but and then train your body to sleep through the night. If you're restless, you might want to take some melatonin. You might want to learn how to do meditation. You might want to get your room cooler. You might want to use blue blocker glasses. You want to get off your electronic devices within an hour before you go to sleep. There's just a lot of things you can do, but you want to get good sleep. The second thing is you want to get good nutrition. I mean, your car's sitting out there. You wouldn't put bad gas in your car because it would sputter, and you would know exactly why it was sputtering. And so if you want your body to perform for the long haul, just like your car, you want it to last a long time, because it costs a lot of money and you don't want to have to buy a new one. And so you're not going to damage your car, so you wouldn't damage your body, would you? So you're going to be looking at food as either fuel or it's poison. So you don't want to put that in your body regularly. So you want to eat good nutrition, and you want to do the keto diet, and you want to do intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting is literally the best way to purify your body. And there are more and more and more studies coming out about how you can reduce your cancer risk. And just today I was on a podcast with two gentlemen, and they were talking about how actually ketones, actually cancers feed on sugar, on glucose. And so that's why the risk of cancer if you're obese is a lot higher. Women that are obese have more breast cancer. So you wanna know that putting that high fructose corn syrup and all those hidden sugars that are in salad dressings, ketchups, so many things, and they're really in bread and in desserts. You don't want to put those in your body, because if you do have cancerous cells in your body, it's going to feed them. So just know that's another reason why you want to get on the ketogenic diet and do intermittent fasting, okay? You want to decrease your stress, and the best way to do that is learning how to do meditation and learning how to pray and how to trust God and not worry. And that's a whole nother PhD, isn't it, right? In how to get close to God, how to abide in God. But you really want to work on learning how to decrease your stress. I had a woman today that I signed up for my challenge, and she'd never done meditation, and she has a lot of anxiety and stress. And I said, well, you're going to learn how to do that in my program, and it's going to help you so much. So she was looking forward to that. Okay, the other thing is exercise. I hear this all the time. I need to start exercising. Well, when are you going to start? And really, walking is a great exercise. I'm so glad if you do that. That's a wonderful thing. But you really need to do a metabolic workout. So one of the things I'm adding to this challenge is a little more strenuous workout. We're going to call it a metabolic workout. We're going to do it 3 times a week. It's going to get your heart rate up a little more. It's still going to be easy. You're going to be able to do it, but it's going to stress you a little bit more than the previous exercises that we have been doing. So if you want to start an exercise program and have a personal coach and a trainer, then message me, and we'll talk about how this becomes a part of the challenge, okay? The other thing is laughter. You want to laugh. Watch a funny movie. Do something. Laughter is a wonderful medicine. The Bible says merry heart is like good medicine in Proverbs, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. So you want to laugh. And then last but not, well, of course, I put over here to stop smoking and limit your alcohol. But that's just, I just think that's something you should know. Alcohol has a lot of sugar in it. And smoking definitely has a lot of toxins in it. So that's just a given. Now you almost think if you do that, then you're just really trying to kill yourself, I think. Okay, so number 6 is use your brain, all right? And so the 2 things they say that help you to prevent Alzheimer's and use your brain more is learning a language and playing an instrument. So if you've been talking about, I want to learn how to speak Spanish or French or whatever, now's the time. And the other thing is, if you've been thinking about learning to play an instrument, now is the time to do that. Okay, so that's it for tonight, and I wanted to announce the winner of the supplements. And the supplements I'm going to send you it's a new supplement that I found that I've been using for gut health, but we also know that it helps the brain. So Bonnie Sears won the drawing for the supplements tonight. So if you want to get in on these supplements, share this video, and just share this video. This is good information that people need to know, and I'll put you in the drawing, and you'll also get in the drawing for half price on my challenge. So I'm adding people this week. I added a couple of people today. I'm probably going to be adding 2 more tomorrow, and I'd love to add you if you've been in a challenge before. I can add you again to this challenge. If you've never been in a challenge, message me. I'll set up a phone consultation. You'll learn a lot just from being in the phone consultation, but you'll also learn what it's all about, how to do it. I'll send you some links and videos to watch. So thank you for joining me. If I don't have your email, send me your email, because I'm going to be sending out an email tomorrow with some more information about Alzheimer's and possibly even a new recipe that I've tried. So y'all have a great night, and thank you for joining me.